actual murder weapon, they do find clues that help them determine what kind of gun was used.
Inside the bedroom, there was at least one shell casing that was found on the floor near his body.
The perpetrator was armed with a handgun, at least one, we know that for sure.
Detectives analyzed Landy's 911 call, and they note that Landy repeatedly says that they are going to kill me.
So at least 2 killers were in the house. We knew that from the very beginning of the investigation.
Did the perpetrators kill Landy because they heard him on the 911 call? Or is it possible that this was not a burglary and something else entirely?
There was a broken window in the back of the house. The glass was broken from inside the home.
If this was a home invasion, then why would the burglar break the window from the inside of the house?
It could very well have been the intent of them to try and throw law enforcement off by making us believe that a burglary happened here.
The forensic team and the crime scene detective were able to locate an Apple iPhone that was underneath the mattress on top of a box spring.
Could this be the phone that Landy used to call 911? Are there clues on the phone that could lead detectives to the killer? Detectives will not know these crucial answers until they can look inside the phone.
We had to get a search warrant in order to search the contents of that phone, and that usually takes a couple of days.
We learned from neighbors that there were some suspicious solicitors going door to door. They were magazine sales personnel. That was odd for them to be in that neighborhood at that time.
They saw 2 men leaving the house. If you have 2 strangers in a neighborhood where a murder occurs, the police are certainly going to look at them and see if they are the host.
Detectives take on the daunting task of locating the magazine salesman, while the CSI unit continues to process the crime scene.
The only DNA evidence that was found inside that scene belonged to Landy.
Landy lived with Yadara and another girl named Mia. Yadara was the woman who called 911 and asked police to do a welfare check on Landy. Both women were out of town at the time of the murder.
Yadira and Mia were snow skiing up in North Carolina.
After police confirmed their alibis, Yadara and Mia are eliminated as suspects. But they give police an interesting tidbit of information.
We talked to Yadara first over the phone, and then she drove back from North Carolina back to St. Petersburg, where she was interviewed again.
Yadira and Mia told us that Landy had a new boyfriend.
1 month before the murder, Landy started dating 25-year-old Jonathan Galicia.
Landy jumped into things way too quickly. Landy wanted to get married, have a family, grow old with somebody, and enjoy life.
There's actually statistics. Most people are murdered by someone they know. It's always good to start with a domestic partner. I know that's sad, but it's true. So basically, if they didn't go there to rob the house, it's either been the jealousy, lover, homicide.
Could Landy's new boyfriend have the answers police are searching for? Does he know what happened to Landy?
This is the way chicken was meant to be right here. Fried and crispy.
Y'all never cooked us grilled chicken.
Nah. I didn't know what grilled chicken was. I probably got 30 years old. Sonic Chicken Slinger.
Some good chicken.
Buckle up for the most thrilling night on TV.
911, what's your emergency?
2 epic shows and 1 unforgettable night.
We have one last shot.
911 and 911 Lone Star season premieres. Check local listings. Everyone makes mistakes. But what if life was as forgiving as the General? You're in! At the General, we'll cover you, even with a less than perfect driving record.
Smell that? Smells like a championship.
For a great low rate, you can get a high. Go to the General and save some time.
She wanted to eat something good this morning. He wanted to be scared of cops. So she came prepared with Nutri-Grain. Made with real fruit and whole grains kids will actually eat. Kellogg's Nutri-Grain. Come prepared.
Have new money goals this year? NerdWallet can help make them happen. Like getting auto insurance to match your new 0-mile commute. We have tools for that. Want to refinance your mortgage and put those savings into the college fund? We have tips for that too. Or get a low-interest credit card for your long-awaited honeymoon? We can help you find the one. Credit card, that is. Discover and compare the smartest credit cards, mortgage lenders, and more on NerdWallet. For all your money questions, turn to the nerds.
This is my first time trying on glasses at home.
I went to Warby Parker's website and I picked 5 frames that I really liked. These are really cute. Virtual try-on is perfect. Like, they look like they're on my face. Like, look at this. Just swipe and switch.
Abby, look at that.
I think you got one.
That was so easy. They make it so fun and fabulous.
In a world where millions of shoppers were boxed in by their budget, one smart generation of shoppers found the solution.
Rarestbuild.com, because you get better brands when you buy secondhand.
Duh. This just in. Online thrift store ThredUp is giving the world an upgrade. Because you get better brands when you buy secondhand. Anthropology from $14, Loft from $6, Nike from $7, and so many more up to 90% off. Enter code NEW for up to an extra 50% off your first order at ThredUp.com.
Tuesday, 9 Nights of Twisted Killers continues.
Landy Martinez was found dead in his 57th Avenue home. It is believed that his murder was random, possibly the work of men selling magazines door to door. Police are following multiple leads in the mysterious murder of 21-year-old Landy Martinez. They learned that Landy just started a new relationship with Jonathan Galicia, who lives over an hour away. While they track him down, police meet with eyewitnesses who saw several suspicious men in the neighborhood at the time of the murder.
Coincidentally, there were 2 young fellas in the neighborhood. They were young. They were in the area going door to door.
When the police were canvassing the neighborhood, they talked to folks who the salespeople had called upon. One of the people had a card that one of the salespeople left with them. So now they say, oh, now we're going to be able to track these guys down. This was not that easy.
The solicitors were a little bit harder to track down where they were with a company out of California. We had to locate them, and then they used people that responded to a Craigslist ad. They were independent contractors.
As police try and locate the salesman, another eyewitness comes forward and tells police that they saw 2 men in Landy's house at the time of the murder.
What up, man?
We had not only one group of people that were canvassing the neighborhood to sell magazines, but we also had a couple of folks who saw 2 people leaving the area in a hurry.
Eyewitnesses tell police that the 2 men leaving in a hurry were Hispanic, and detectives are trying to determine if these are the same people who were selling magazines. After some digging, police are able to confirm that the 2 salesmen were college students, but neither of them are Hispanic.
My fault.
We were able to identify some of the students that were there, and none of which matched the description of the 2 people that left the area later on.
Oh, the guard.
We were able to locate them and interview them, finding where they were at the time of the offense.
Police determined that Landy's murder occurred at 10:04 a.m. while he was on the call with the 911 operator. According to the magazine salesman, they took a break at 9:30 a.m.
They had alibis. They had a receipt from a coffee shop in downtown St. Petersburg at the time of the killing, so they couldn't have been responsible.
Police eliminate the magazine salesmen as suspects, but they turn their attention back to the 2 Hispanic men eyewitnesses saw leaving the crime scene.
We started
good, I'm back.
that these
I'm back.
young individuals that may be responsible, because it was the time that the killing would have taken place, and they were seen leaving that neighborhood.
The key thing about the 2 people that were leaving the area after the 911 call is those people were leaving between times that the 911 call was made and the time that the second call for welfare check came in. They're the only ones that were leaving the area in a hurry, which drew attention to them.
You have 2 strangers in the neighborhood, and someone says, we saw 2 males leaving the house. Well, all of a sudden, the detectives go, hey, these could be our guys. We're going to solve this real quickly. It's going to be nice and neat. That was not the case.
Right.
According to Yadara, Landy's boyfriend Jonathan often spent the night. Is it possible Jonathan is one of the men eyewitnesses saw leaving the scene? If Jonathan was familiar with the house, could it be that he was the one who put the Drano in the bathroom?
The police then looked at the closest person to Landy. That would be his current lover, Jonathan.
He wanted a boyfriend. He wanted nothing more than to have love and happiness in his life.
Girl, why you bone me over like that,
a lot of his free time enjoying the nightlife in St. Petersburg.
He went out dancing a lot. Landy was a very good dancer.
Landy fit in very well in St. Petersburg. The gay bars, they were open and they were friendly and they were thriving around that time.
Landy, he had a charismatic personality, bubbly. When we went out dancing, everybody pretty much just stopped and watched him dance.
1 month before the murder, Landy caught the eye of 25-year-old Jonathan Galicia.
When I met Jonathan, I thought he was like the sweetest guy in the world. Very cute, charming, kind, caring. Seemed to like Landy a lot.
Within weeks of meeting, the couple starts dating seriously, but the relationship has a rocky start. Because Landy just ended another relationship.
It's an insecure love. Let's all remember when we were 21 years old. The relationship was just starting out, was just blossoming.
Before Jonathan and Landy started dating, Landy had been in a long-term relationship
I thought you were going to take advantage of that shit.
Jose. But it was over.
Landy's the one that broke up with Jose. Shoot. Landy seemed so happy with Jonathan. But Jonathan was jealous about Jose.
Jonathan and Landy had not been together all that long. It was not a long-term relationship, so they don't know whether he was out to get Landy, what he was doing, but it wasn't that they had been together for a long time. So that increased in their minds the possibility that he was the perp. They start, first off, telling Jonathan Landy's been murdered. They look for a reaction. Does he have a reaction like he knew? Was he shocked? Was he upset?
Jonathan asked in his initial interview if he needed an attorney.
When someone says to a law enforcement officer, do I need an attorney, their radar goes off.
Innocent people don't need attorneys. And in my career investigating homicides, no person ever asked for an attorney that wasn't guilty.
That, in the detective's mind, made him suspect number one.
I was willing to do whatever to get my mom's case solved.
The only way we're going to get that answer is to exhume the body.
From executive producers Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos.
Burned me up to my core. She deserves justice.
Exhumed, a new series. Next Sunday at 7. All Weather Oxygen's 9 Nights of Twisted Killers.
Discover new worlds.
There's a lot there, bro. It's crazy.
Discover what's good. Pantene Nutrient Blends.
Every kid deserves nutritious food to help them grow strong. Yoplait is making it easy for you to help kids who need it. Buy participating products, scan your receipts, Yoplait will donate. It's that easy. It's Yoplait time.
Am I limiting my future? Am I about to be called mommy? Am I pregnant?
First Response detects not one, but all forms of the pregnancy hormone, with a test that gives results 6 days before your missed period. First Response is the answer.
We love the new apartment.
The natural light is amazing.
Hardwood floors.
There is a bit of a clogging problem.
I ain't letting them get nothing, bro. I don't care.
Geico makes it
I'm on
easier for
defense.
renters and car insurance.
Yeah, helping us save even
Straight
more.
up. I don't care. I ain't getting that nothing for free.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Ready to Juvederm it? Correct age-related volume loss in cheeks with Juvederm.
Oh, man.
Add fullness to lips with Juvederm Ultra XC, and smooth moderate to severe lines around the nose and mouth with Juvederm XC. Tell your doctor if you have a history of scarring or are taking medicines that decrease the body's immune response or that can prolong it. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. As with all fillers, there is a rare risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or
Good shot, bro.
Juvederm. Talk to your doctor about the Juvederm collection of fillers.
Next time you carry out 3-topping Domino's pizzas for $7.99 each, try Domino's car-side delivery. Just check in online and we'll quickly and safely bring out your food so you don't have to get out to get carry-out. Like Benny here.
Hey Hamlin, I like your PJs.
Shut. Oh, it's too late. Damn, bro.
And try your best not to snap. The best part of waking up is folders in your cup.
I see you, baby man. You just gotta be ready. I see you.
By Downy Infusions Calm. Laundry isn't done until it's done with Downy.
Good shot.
Law enforcement is circling Landy's current boyfriend, Jonathan Galicia. Jonathan claims that he was home alone on the morning of the murder, and that he made multiple calls to Landy.
We followed that up by subpoenaing his cell phone records.
While they wait for the cell phone records to verify Jonathan's story, police question him about his relationship with Landy, and he tells police that he was involved in a love triangle with Landy and his ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old Jose Adame.
On our interview with Jonathan Galicia, we learned that there was a three-way phone call the night before this homicide between Jonathan, Landy Martinez, and Jose. We didn't know about the three-way call until Jonathan told us about it.
Jonathan and Landy's fragile love affair was just beginning when the murder happened.
Jonathan thinks that Landy still has feelings for Jose. And he says, no, there's no way. I'm done with him. And he said, I'll prove it to you.
I'm supposed to hit
so
corner.
he arranges a three-way call, and the new partner, Jonathan, is quiet on the call.
Landy wanted to make sure that Jose knew things were over with. We're not getting back together. I have a new boyfriend. We're moving on with our lives together.
And then at the end of that call, which was over an hour long, Jonathan identified himself as being on the call. Jose wished them well, and he actually said that he had a new boyfriend. Jose was in North Carolina at the time during that call that night.
Jonathan tells police that on the morning of the murder, he received suspicious texts from Landy, which tipped him off that something was wrong.
I've been trying to get you to do done on the food.
Saying, I'm going back to Jose. I really love Jose. It's over between us. We haven't been together that long. I don't want you. Jose is the person I love.
After the three-way call, did Landy have second thoughts about his new love, Jonathan? Did his feelings rekindle for Jose?
They look at Jonathan as the obvious suspect, thinking that he's the new jilted boyfriend.
Jonathan Galicia tried to reach out to Landy to no avail. He wasn't calling him back.
Jonathan at that time was concerned because
I missed
hours ago and Jose was out of the picture, Jose was moving on. He thought it was very unusual and he suspected that there might be something wrong.
Jonathan tells police he became concerned when Landy wasn't answering his phone, so he called Landy's roommate Yadara, who was out of town.
At that point in time, he decided she needed to call law enforcement, and that's when his body was found.
Police are suspicious of Jonathan's story, and they cannot verify it until they get his cell phone records, which
That's crazy, man.
In the meantime, detectives take a deep dive into Landy's relationship with his ex-lover, Jose Adame.
We were able to determine that there were several domestic issues in the past.
In July 2009, just months after publicly coming out, Landy meets Jose Adame on a dating website.
I wasn't surprised Landy met somebody online. I figured nowadays that's the way anybody meets anybody. Landy and Jose's relationship seemed pretty good in the beginning. Seemed like they got along great, liked each other a lot, fell in love.
First love can be intense, and as time passes, there are warning signs that the relationship is beginning to crack.
Jose was very jealous. I believe if you saw
he took that
Jose
shot and
Landy
then
in a
quit.
room,
That's
Jose
tough.
would be more off to the side, while Landy would be the one in the middle going, hey, let's have a great time.
The fighting between Jose and Landy escalates, and 2 months before the murder, the couple calls it quits.
I wasn't really surprised that Landy and Jose broke up with all the fighting that was going on and things like that. It wasn't too long after the breakup that Landy started dating Jonathan.
Although Landy and Jose's breakup was amicable on the surface, Landy even allowed Jose to borrow his car. Things quickly begin to sour when Landy starts dating Jonathan, and Jose begins lashing out.
Jose began doing things to get back at Landy. He took the car up north and was driving through intersections where he knew that there were cameras that would record the plate and the tag.
Landy was getting these $50, $60, $70 tickets with no recourse.
The car is registered to Landy, who is now responsible for the tickets that Jose is racking up. Furious with his ex, Landy hatches a scheme to get the car back.
Mr. Adame came back into Pinellas County, and at that time, he thought he was meeting Mr. Martinez, but he actually was meeting Miss Martinez and local law enforcement. And local law enforcement took back that vehicle at that time and returned it to Mr. Martinez, leaving Jose Adame stranded there.
Is it possible that losing the car and the three-way phone call with Jonathan pushed Jose over the edge? When police try to contact
My boy just
Jose,
standing there, no defense, no, he just standing there. He just standing there, bro.
Landy's friend Gail Rigg.
She made a controlled call to Jose where we recorded it, trying to gather evidence, but he said that he was not in Florida, he was at his new boyfriend's house, and when she told him Landy was murdered, he said, that's not true, you know, you're just trying to mess with my brain. He wouldn't believe it.
Jose indicated that he was also involved in a new relationship with a person with a lot of money, bought him a new car, a Lexus, and he was very happy.
Although Jose stays on police radar, they do not have any evidence to tie him to the murder. They turn their attention back to the Apple that was found at the crime scene.
They were able to get a search warrant, opened up that phone, and saw a videotape of a torture scene. Mr. Martinez was in his bathroom. He was kneeling. He was crying out for help.
Bro.
That phone was Landy's phone.
That you talk about.
In 20 years doing homicide investigations, this is probably the only case that I saw video of the victim prior to his being murdered.
Although the actual murder is not captured on film, the sadistic torture is documented.
The shower's running. He's bound by his wrist with duct tape. He's wearing a white t-shirt. He's crying. It is horrific. He knows he's in big trouble, that something bad's going to happen to him. It's a horrible video. It's hard to watch. A man being tortured, pleading.
Terrible.
They were using Drano and a knife. The thought of having Drano poured down your throat or into your eyes, threatening to stab him, that is psychological as well as physical torture.
And seeing the pain and the anguish on his face, knowing that he was in a lot of trouble, that he most likely might not make it out of that bathroom. You can see clearly that he is not the person holding the cell phone.
Landy makes a statement in Spanish. He is a terrible person. Everything was Landy's fault.
Was the three-way call the tipping point in this toxic love triangle? Could one of Landy's lovers be a sadistic killer?
He says, Jose, I'm sorry.
He got physically sick when they confronted him.
They used the U.S. Marshal's office to go and locate him.
Kids can change.
Come on, bro. Y'all got me missing this.
They can even change the world around us. Packed with proteins, 21 minerals, we nourish them with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. Because today could change everything.
Now, if you order Domino's online, you can stream thousands of movies for free with access to Epix Now for 30 days. Make your comedies extra cheesy, or make family movie night a double crowd pleaser. Upgrade your movie night with any online order from Domino's.
At Southern New Hampshire University, we're committed to making college more accessible by making it more affordable. That's why we're keeping our tuition
it's an easy shot too, wide open.
I knew SNHU was the place for me when I saw how affordable it was. I ran to my husband with my computer and I said, look, we can do this.
Take advantage of some of the lowest online tuition rates in the nation. Find your degree at snhu.edu.
When it comes to Nivea Essentially Enriched, people don't like how rich it feels. They love it. It's kind of crazy. See what all the love is about with the nourishing power of Nivea body lotion.
Are we turning our cameras on for this?
My smile can't compete.
Everyone?
Nope. For a smile that's always camera ready. Crest 3D White removes 95% of stains in just 3 days. Crest, #1 toothpaste brand in America.
Everyone makes mistakes. But what if life was as forgiving as the General? You're in! At the General, we'll cover you, even with a lapse of insurance.
Smells like a chicken.
Go to the General and save some time!
I'm a big kid now. My pillow candies are like made with plants and super, super soft, which makes me so comfy. I can do anything like this. Did you see it?
Yeah.
I'm a big kid now.
Today's a new day, and all I gotta say is you can always find a way to make room to play. Cause if you lost touch or you're feeling disconnected, it's the perfect time to find whatever we neglected. We lived to be together last year, reminded us. Our playful spirit's strong, even when the times are tough. Whether it's IRL or online, bruh, it's amazing what old friends can do. And it's just as true for new friends too. That's how we play. Here's what we know. Life's sweeter together. Oreo.
Oxygen's 9 Nights at Noon continues Tuesday with the disappearance of Susan Cox Powell and Sigs. Where is she? Who really killed her? Then Gypsy Rose and Nick are up to triple at 8, followed by the Piketon family murders at 10. 9 Nights of Twisted Killers continues Tuesday on Oxygen. True crime 24/7.
Police are analyzing a disturbing cell phone video of Landy Martinez in the moments before his death. And it reveals a shocking twist in the case.
He says, Jose, I'm sorry, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
He was begging for forgiveness and apologizing to Mr. Adame and telling the world that Mr. Adame is not responsible for what had occurred.
Autopsy reports confirm that Landy was murdered by 2 gunshot wounds. Did Jose pull the trigger, or was it his accomplice? Does Jonathan know more about what happened to Landy than he is admitting? Police turn to him and demand answers about the morning of the murder.
What the police found out is that Jonathan had nothing to hide.
By subpoenaing his cell phone records, we were able to show that he was in that area where he lived at the time that this all happened, so we know that he couldn't have been down in St. Petersburg doing these texts, making these phone calls, and murdering Landy at the same time.
And then, in essence, eliminated Jonathan.
While police confirmed that Jonathan was not in St. Petersburg at the time of the murder, they began to look into Jose's whereabouts. Although Jose told Landy he was in North Carolina while on the 3-way call the night before the murder, police uncover a different story.
We found that on the night before the murder, on the 3-way call between Jose, Landy, and Jonathan, Jose Adame's cell phone is in Largo, Florida, which is right next door to St. Pete, Florida, this is where this homicide occurred. And then in the morning, Jose Adame's cell phone hit off the same cell tower that Landy's cell phone hit off of.
Jose's cell phone records give detectives exactly what they have been looking for. Proof that Jose was in St. Petersburg not only while on the 3-way call,
I know, right?
but also on the morning of the murder.
I mean, I fuck with the whole game anyway, bro. It's crazy. I missed too many shots.
Plan in order to help us locate Jose.
It's like it's got a little lag to it, though, man. I don't know.
To go and locate him. Once he was taken into custody, our detectives responded to North Carolina, and then they met with Jose at the county jail.
Okay, this is Detective Ed Judy with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Adame, can you just state your name for me?
Jose Adame?
Okay. And since you've been back to North Carolina on the 17th, you have not been back to Florida. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said that you had a phone call?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember what night it was?
What's up following me?
Good night.
Okay. And this was a good phone call, you told me, right? That you and Landy talked. And at some point in time, did that become a 3-way phone call?
Yes, with Jonathan.
With Jonathan. Tell me who Jonathan is.
I think it's his, what it was, his new boyfriend, I don't know.
And you were in North Carolina.
Yeah, I hate messing the game up, though, bro.
Okay. Jose, have you been truthful with us today?
I'm just having to tell one of them tough ones.
The problem is it doesn't seem like you're being truthful on some things. You were in Florida on Tuesday night, and you were in Florida on Wednesday.
How is that?
Because all they really doing is just filing, bro.
Did you know that your phone that you're using is in Pinellas County, Florida, Tuesday and Wednesday?
down.